It's indifference. This was one of Hitler's greatest allies in the Holocaust, the indifference of the world. Maybe the era of goodwill that followed World War II that has allowed some of us to forget the graphic and painful lessons of the bankruptcy of a godless humanity. With what has been going on in the Sudan, in the situation in Darfur, where more than 2 million people have been driven from their homes and more than 200,000 have been killed, in Iran, the president there, elected, held a gathering of Holocaust deniers, including David Duke's former Ku Klux Klan leader. I ask, is human dignity built on the basis of man's understanding on a higher level today than it was in the time of World War II? Are the concepts of truth, right, justice, and ethics held by men today any more acceptable than they were then? You be the judge. For every victim of human injustice, a piece of the world is lost. With every survivor, a new lesson must be learned. For Skokie, Morton Grove, Illinois, this nation, and the world, the museum will be a testament of man's inhumanity to man, because unfortunately, we still need to be reminded of this sad fact. Inhumanity has cost much for many families of this planet. This will cost nothing to the village of Morton Grove in dollars. Some have told me this vote in the affirmative may cost some political benefit to me and anybody who votes against it. Well, for me, whether it does or doesn't, the only vote that my brain and my heart tell me is to vote yes. With that, will the clerk please take the roll?
Trustee Cogstad.
I too have been listening. Testing. I too have been listening with rapt attention. And our family knows a little bit of the horrors of World War II. I'm from Norway. My dad was in the resistance in Norway, and as I'm sure you know, Hitler came through Europe and occupied Norway for a very long time. My uncles went to jail. My mom's dad's farm, my grandfather's farm, was taken over. So our family knows quite a bit. Not the horrors of the Holocaust, obviously, but we have gone through quite a bit in our family. We know some of what's happened firsthand. And my heart and my mind is also disgusted with what has happened in the 30s and 40s. So the issue to me is not the substance of what you're doing, which is most admirable. We certainly know some, to a very small degree, of what you went through. But for me, I have to vote for the residents of Morton Grove, and I believe that the issuance of these bonds sets a bad precedent. I think the idea that this won't cost us anything, I think we're going to find out that it eventually will. When the next group with an education center request comes in and applies for bonds, the taxpayers will have to pay the legal fees and other administrative costs. If the village doesn't grant the request, we're going to be threatened with another lawsuit, be it justified or not. We're going to be forced to capitulate and to grant the request. Otherwise, we'll face another lawsuit, as we just did a few years ago. And I think this opens Pandora's box. I think it's a bad precedent, and it should be rejected, and I vote no.
Trustee Minks.
When I was first approached regarding this ordinance, my two concerns were the dollar cost to the village and could we as a village be approached again on this issue. I believe the information we've received in our packets plus the program that's been put on this evening has more than answered my questions. I personally don't believe this is a problem for the village of Morton Grove. I look at this as an opportunity an opportunity for Morton Grove and all the residents of Illinois and for our nation, and I vote yes.
Trustee Sinensky.
Good evening. I'm glad to see the democratic process works. People are here for and against this issue and can express their feelings without repercussion. We all can go home to our families that are safe and rest in peace this evening when this is over. That is what our men and women in armed forces are fighting for, to protect our freedoms, to protect us. God bless them this holiday season. I was concerned about this bond issue when I first heard about it also. I've had a lot of people express their opinions to me, pro and con. I understand both sides. But the taxpayers of Morton Grove, which I'm one, will not be liable for the payment of this bond. LaSalle Bank will hold the note. Also, this is a bond of opportunity. We did not use this exempt bond this year, and it will be used for a good cause now. Will this open the doors for others? Whoever it would be needs to be in good, if not great, financial shape and prove it. Then it's still a discretionary vote by the village board as to grant it. This is not a handout to an underfunded project that will sit in the ground, that is poorly managed at best and past its time. This project will get done on time and is important. I think this project is important for other reasons also. Iran's President Ahmadinejad said Tuesday that the Zionist Israel regime would be wiped out soon, while casting doubt on the Nazis' systematic extermination of 6 million Jews. He also cast doubt that the Holocaust ever happened. He called it a myth. I ask you, did 9/11 ever happen, or is that a myth also? We are under attack in this country by religions that teach death to America and death to Israel, week in and week out in America and overseas. Iran is one of many countries trying to say this immense tragedy never happened. They are trying to harm or deny America's freedoms also. Will they want to wipe out America also? This is another reason why I think this Holocaust Center and Morton Grove's involvement is important, to let the people see the truth and understand why this happened. I also want people to understand the cost of living in a free society is making tough decisions. I want people to see what happened during the Holocaust, and I want them to remember. I will vote yes for this bonding issue for the Holocaust Center, look forward to its completion, and will be proud of Morton Grove's involvement. Thank you.
Trustee Stackman.
While I strongly feel this is a worthwhile project and necessary for the betterment of all mankind, I agree with what the Mayor of Skokie said and the trustees I talked to over there. I think this sets a precedent, and my first obligation here is to the people of Morton Grove. I have to vote no.
Trustee Brunner.
You know, I see this as a larger community issue, and I see that our residents of Morton Grove and students are going to benefit greatly from the museum and have a memorable learning experience provided by the museum. Skokie's provided support by being the leaseholder of the land. The Forest Preserve District is cooperating and participating, and the state of Illinois is even providing funds. From the letters and opinions obtained from Chapman and Cutler, Arnston and Lear, and our special counsel, and all the testimony heard here tonight, I can find no reason to vote against this issuance of these bonds and act as a conduit for the foundation to obtain the funds to build a museum. As far as economic development, this may be the spur that our community needs to accelerate the growth that we want. I'm proud that our village was asked by the foundation to participate in this important and noble project, and I'm going to vote yes.
Trustee DeMaria.
Thank you. I'm usually the one that tries to make this simplified, and by no means is this a simple vote tonight. It's actually rather complex. There's no doubt in my mind that this museum will be a great and much needed educator now and for future generations. A representative of the museum said this is not a religious or ethnic museum, and I 100% agree with them. But it's also not a Morton Grove issue. If this museum was to be placed in Morton Grove, my vote would have been a lot easier, and my time probably would have been a lot less of investigating and trying to come up with what I felt was the right thing to do. I saw some of the pictures of the museum. While it's beautiful, and I see some forest preserve is going to be used as well for it, I was kind of thinking on the back of my head, because as you people know, I always say what I'm feeling, is would have been really nice down by maybe the metro station and in our woods. But that's not where it's going. Skokie will for sure benefit from this through publicity, through traffic, through much more than Morton Grove will, I guess is what I'm saying. And I see the great advantage for Skokie, but I don't see it for the people of this community who elected me to make decisions. The Village of Skokie denied the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center's request. The mayor of Skokie said that if they approved this request, they would have to approve all other requests from different groups in the village, and they weren't able to do that. And I don't think Morton Grove is any different. I'm not voting no to the museum. I think it's going to be a great facility, but I am, in the interest of what I feel is right for the village of Morton Grove. We'll say it again, this is not a Morton Grove issue. This is a Skokie issue. If they want to have the museum in Morton Grove, that would be great. But for right now, this is a benefit to Skokie, and I don't see the benefit for the village of Morton Grove or the residents, and I am going to vote no.
We have a tie, Mr. Mayor. Can I ask you for your vote?
Absolutely. I'm sad to hear that some people think it's a Skokie issue or a Jewish issue. In my opinion, it's neither a Skokie issue, it's neither a Jewish issue, it's a humanity issue. And I'm part of that humanity and proud to cast a vote yes.
Motion passes.
Motion. Okay. So motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.